Well, hello, everyone. It is so nice to see you this afternoon, depending on where you are located, but I am glad that you are here. So, technically, Shahara, how are we doing? We're okay?
Yes, everything is all good.
All right, great. Well, thank you for coming to Overcoming the Imposter Syndrome. I am Allison Johnson, the president of the Lee Johnson Group, and I will be your host today. I'm so glad you are joining us. I have my co-host and producer, which is Miss Shahara Murphy. Shahara, welcome everybody, and tell them what you're going to be up to.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Shahara. So I'll be monitoring the chat and engaging with you all there. I'm super excited to be supporting this amazing presentation that Allison has prepared for you. I hope you enjoy and get what you came for. I know that you will. And I'll see you in the chat.
All right. And Shahara is awesome. Okay. So she'll be connecting and talking with you as we go. And I'm so glad to have her co-hosting with me today. Let me start with a disclaimer here from Cinduit LLC. This is their material, is the bottom line here. And they're saying in order to use this material, you have to be a partner with them. So you can go out to Cinduit LLC, www.com, Cinduit, you see it down there. And go ahead on and you can become a partner. They have some really content-rich material. So you may be interested if you're a trainer or a coach or counselor or whatever. Please do it ethically. But I know the people on this line and they will do just that. So thank you so much for listening to that commercial. I definitely did not want to remove that because this is their content. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about the Lee Johnson Group. We have been in existence for the past 2 decades, okay? And what we were doing primarily was organizational training and consulting. With the pandemic, we've decided to make a shift. And I feel at this stage, I want to really impact people one-on-one. So I will still continue to do organizational training, but I'm excited about this shift into coaching. And so part of how we can serve our community at the Lee Johnson Group is we want to put on these webinars. The webinars will be always free and we will do one per month. Mastermind groups are a way for a small number of individuals to get together and really just kind of deal with some key issues and growth issues, as well as leadership and team issues. We also will be doing group coaching, and I like that because I can coach many in a small group, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. And then one-to-one coaching is really getting folks in that bullseye where you have me all by yourself as your coach, and I can begin to really help you explore what is in you. Now, let me say something about coaching. Coaching is not telling, it's not consulting, and it's not mentoring. Coaching is about helping you, and I do non-directive coaching, which means I am your partner as a coach and helping you to succeed in whatever that gap is. Coaching is not counseling. Counseling is when you want to look back and to see why you are the way you are. Coaching is about I'm here and here is where I want to go. I have a goal. I have something I want to achieve. And I just need a thinking partner. I need somebody to come alongside of me and to help me get where I want to be. I have to tell you, if it wasn't for my coach, you would not webinar right now in August. And so I am excited for the field of coaching and making that shift. So growing leaders and teams to impact their humanity is my why. Now, you might say humanity, that's kind of big, But the key to humanity is whatever humanity is for you. It may be the people around your kitchen table. It may be your coworkers. It may be the team that you're leading or the ministry that you're leading or wherever you find yourself at. That's your humanity. It may be global. I think globally, y'all. Okay. So whatever humanity is for you, we want to have an impact. And I love working with people that are hungry, they want to grow, and they want to have impact on those around them. So check us out at www.leejohnsongroup, and you'll see more of the services, and I'll talk more about that as we move at the end of the webinar. All right, so let's get into this webinar, and you have signed up for Overcoming the Imposter Syndrome, so welcome. Now, there's a lot of little words which tells you that that's a disclaimer. And actually, I need to help you understand what we're doing here. This is educational material only. So this material is for educational purposes. We are not trying to diagnose. We are not trying to give you medical advice or give you some type of process to follow. This is non-therapeutic, all right? If you need a mental health person or a doctor, I want you to go to that person, okay? Make sure that you bring them in. This is not considered any type of mainstream healthcare, so be aware of that. And I want you to say it with me. This is for educational purposes only. But I'm glad you're here. Seek a physician if you find that you want to explore deeper into the material that you're going to be exposed to. I love this particular topic because when you're dealing with overcoming the imposter syndrome, that imposter kind of hangs out for us like a shadow, if you will. And so we're going to be looking at what is the imposter. We want to also examine why does it exist. We'll look at 5 subcategories of the imposter syndrome. And then we're going to give you 8 ways to fight back and overcome this imposter. So put your seatbelts on. Let's get ready to roll. All right, here we go. Now, feeling inadequate, you're not alone. We all kind of go through times when we feel inadequate. Most people experience moments of self-doubt, and that's normal. The issue with these temporary negative feelings are when they become consistent and you don't feel worthy of titles and achievements that you've earned. Now, notice what I said, achievements that you've earned. You've been successful, but let me tell you, it's time for a change. So 70% of people who in their careers have felt this inadequacy and this concern of self-doubt. So what is the imposter syndrome? Let's talk about what it is. A psychological, when we talk about a syndrome, understand we're talking about a psychological pattern of self-doubt where individuals degrade their accomplishments and they have a persistent internalized fear that I might be exposed as a fraud. Okay? So the imposter syndrome is considered, it's not considered an official diagnosis by psychologists, but it is recognized as a phenomenon that could lead to other issues. All right. So you may say inadequate and incompetent. When do I feel inadequate and when do I feel incompetent? A lot of times it's when somebody says, hey, do this, and it's outside of your wheelhouse. It's something new and something different, okay? Right away, that little creeper, the imposter, tries to sneak in. So let's take a look here. The original research of the imposter syndrome, we're talking about what it is, was done by these psychologists, Rose Clance and Susan Imes. And what they did back in 1978, they did the research and they said women are uniquely affected. However, further research over the years says no, it's not just women, both genders actually experience this type of feelings and these patterns. So let me say something, because I know some of you are saying, well, wait a minute, hold up. I don't feel like a fraud or imposter. That sounds pretty strong, Allison. But you know the imposter is lurking if you've brushed off your successes, right? Somebody says, wow, you've done that and you've done this. And you say, oh yeah, but it's luck. I was just in the right place at the right time. Think about that. So when you think about this, you might not feel like a fraud or an imposter, but then you have this sort of brush off way of dealing when people tell you about your success. So let's look at, how do you brush off your success? What do you attribute your success to? So let's put it in the chat. This is going to be an interactive webinar. So in your chat, how do you brush off your success? Or do you brush off your success? I know sometimes I'll say, that was easy, when at first I was cringing inside, right? It wasn't as easy as I might have made it look like. So sometimes I'll just say, oh, it was nothing. What are you seeing, Shahara, in our chat?
Yeah, so I see people saying that it was nothing, or some people actually saying, putting it all on God, like, hey, God did that.
Yes. Okay. And we know that he is the original designer and architect, and yet he has put things in us, and he wants us to own what we have done, as we know that he is our ultimate umbrella. Anything else you're seeing?
Yes, people saying they just brush it off. Just praise to God.
Yep.
But yeah, people are giving glory to God in the chat right now.
Okay. Those are my people. All right. So what we're going to do, so now that we know what the imposter is, right, and how we sometimes will brush off our own success, okay, because what happens, even though we give God the glory when things happen, the question becomes, what about when it doesn't go good? Does that mean just the opposite? I know most of y'all are saying that that's not what it means, but let's keep going. So we've talked about the what of the imposter syndrome, what it is, okay? It's thinking like we are a fraud, or, there's self-doubt. Some of those things are going on with us. Let's talk about the why of the imposter syndrome. So why these thoughts are harmful, why when we don't take credit for how we have been uniquely made and how we achieve, what happens is when you're having feelings of inadequacy, what thoughts go through your mind? Let's talk a little bit about that before we move forward. So if you feel inadequate, what are the thoughts that are going through your mind? Let's put that in the chat. I've told you, this is going to be interactive. We're going to work a little bit. I'll give you a few moments to do that. What's going through your mind? So what are you seeing, Shahara?
I'm seeing that I'm not smart enough. I see that I didn't work hard enough, that I'm not good enough.
Yep.
And also bringing it back to God. Why is God not blessing me at this time? There's a lot of self-doubt.
Yeah, exactly. Keep talking in the chat as I move forward here. These thoughts are problematic. Why? Because they're harmful to your self-confidence. which can ultimately hold you back from future success and achieving your goals. So a lot of times they sound like this. Here are some you may have heard or felt, and probably some of them made it into the chat. I can't do that. That won't work for me. I'm just a fill in the blank. I know for me, when I was in the military, it was like, I'm just a sergeant. Now, let me tell you, sergeants do a lot of stuff. In fact, when I was in the military, we did more before 9 o'clock than most people do in a day. But to steal an old Army line, right? But just that feeling of inadequacy can try to creep up against you. I don't have a degree or the right degree. I am working with a bunch of people that know computers or know they have a particular skill set because of the organization that you're in, and you have a degree, but it's not the right degree. You're not an engineer, or you're not a lawyer, or you don't have a mechanical background, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Haha. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. And a lot of times, again, that might creep in originally, but the key is we can figure it out. I don't have the strength. This is too hard. Have you heard yourself say that this week? If they only knew, they should get my brother, he knows how to do this. They should get my sister, or they should get the person in the cubicle next to me, or they should get the person down the hall, or they should get, because they are really good, but not me. Okay, now this is not me. All right, so those are some of the things that we go through when it comes to the imposter. So there are several subcategories that we're going to go into, and how the imposter manifests itself. So imposter syndrome can take various forms depending on a person's background, personality, and other circumstances. I always like to say, some of that stuff that happened to you on the playground when you were growing up, some of that stuff that happened to you in high school, that stuff is still on you, right? You gotta shake that stuff off, okay? Subcategories of the syndrome. So let's look at it. Dr. Valerie Young, she actually gives us 5 of them, and of the way this thing manifests itself. So we're going to go and look at each one of them separately. The perfectionist, the superwoman, the natural genius, the soloist, and the expert. Now, I want you to begin to think, if you got a piece of paper beside you or whatever, that's and a pen, you might want to use that a little bit on this one. I'm going to show you a series, the way the particular subcategory manifests. And then I'm going to ask you at the end, once we look at all of them, I'm going to ask you, we're going to do a poll as to which one you feel is most like you. Okay, so kind of be thinking, how much can you identify with this? And I'm also going to be asking you, as I show you the category and talk about it, I want you to ask yourself, am I married to this subcategory? Am I flirting with it? Or am I not interested? I like those categories, okay? Am I married to it? Am I flirting with it? Or am I not, this is not mine. I don't have a problem with this one, okay? Not interested. So let's go and see what these 5 subcategories are. The first one is the perfectionist. Now, the perfectionist goes hand in hand with the imposter, right? Hand in hand, right? Because this personality type sets extraordinarily high goals for themselves. Nothing wrong with that. But then they constantly worry about measuring up to those goals. And then what also happens with this individual is, let me give you some more of the manifestations, and then we'll talk about what happens with this individual. And remember, ask yourself, am I flirting with this one? Or am I married to it? Or not interested in this one? You've ever been accused of being a micromanager? You don't delegate because of the fact that when you do delegate, you feel frustrated because guess what? You're disappointed in the results. They didn't do it the way you would do it. You accuse yourself of not being good enough when you don't reach the goals you've set yourself for yourself. So I'm not good enough. Okay. You get on yourself really bad. Okay. You feel as though you have to be 100% perfect 100% of the time. Now, I could remember when I used to be that, okay, because of the fact in the military, you do things to 110%. Now, there's nothing wrong with having high goals, y'all, and that's not what we're talking about. But it's when we have high goals and we can't relish in the achievement of those goals. That's when there's a little bit of a challenge, or nobody can do it right but you. All right. I'll tell you where I am on this one. For this personality type, success is rarely satisfying. Here's the problem with it, because they always believe they could have done it better, right? But that's neither productive or healthy. Now, this one I flirt with. I'm definitely a flirter with this one, and I have to watch myself. And when things don't go right, again, it's okay. Move on. All right. So in the chat, which one are you? Married to it, flirting with it, or not your type? What do we see in Shahara?
So I see an F in the chat. Someone said they are recently divorced from perfectionism.
How about that?
I love that. I love that. Some people are saying they're married to it, including myself. And yeah, we got some flirts in there. Yeah, so we got half and half. People can definitely identify with this.
I kind of like the divorce one.
I love that answer.
Making up their own categories, right? All right, here we go. All people who, the next one is going to be the Superman and the Superwoman. So we had the perfectionist. Now this is number 2. All people who experience imposter syndrome are convinced that they don't measure up to their real deal colleagues or whoever they're looking at, and saying that they've got it together, but I fall short here. And this subgroup often tries to push themselves to work harder to measure up. All right, you might be the Superman or the Superwoman if, here we go, you stay later than the rest of the team, even past the point that you've completed that day's necessary work. You get stressed when you're not working and find downtime wasteful. Think about that. All right. You're constantly working. All right. You don't have time for downtime. You have let your hobbies and passions fall to the wayside instead of dedicating your spare time to, and you dedicate your spare time to work. Now, if you're saying, hobbies and passions, what are those? That's all I'm going to say. You feel like you haven't truly earned your title. So you feel pressured to work harder and longer than those around you to prove your worth. Okay. You got a title, but you don't feel like you earned that. Imposters are workaholics, and they become addicted to the validation of being busy. Now, this is when you start talking to your friend and you're trying to let's go to lunch or let's do this or whatever. And you're checking your calendar and you can't fit them in for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because you got so much work to do. All right. Or you're constantly talking about, I got to do this and this and this and this and this. And we wear busyness like a badge of honor. And we feel like that validates us because we're busy. No, that wears you out, Superman and Superwoman. Okay. Now, I can get engaged. Actually, I'm engaged to this one. Okay. Let's make another another one. I'm engaged to this one. And I have to catch myself. All right. So where are we on this one? Let's get in the chat. Are we married, flirting, or this is not your type?
Yeah, I see a few people saying that they can't relate to this, it's not their type. You saying they're flirting and married to it?
Okay. Okay. All right. This is not their type, more of not their type. That's good. That means there's some good healthy stuff going on. You're taking your time and we need to work at play. Think about that. Work at play. In other words, a lot of times we think that we're not supposed to play. Playing is foolishness. But we do need downtime, y'all. We were not made. We need a rest. We need to rest. All right, let's keep going. Number 3 is the natural genius. You've been told all your life that you are good at everything and you can't. And when you don't get it right, okay, the first try, you start judging yourself. All right, that's the natural genius. You're used to it. I went to go see the movie Top Gun, and in there, Tom Cruise says, they talk about these are the best of the best and they're at the top of their game. And he says, yeah, I know. That's all they've been told, but they still have a space to grow. All right. And that's what in that movie, he helps stretch them to grow more. With that said, let's keep going. You might be the natural genius if you're used to excelling without much effort. You have a track record of getting straight A's. You were frequently told as a child that you were the smart one, in the family or in your peer group. You just like the idea of having a mentor because you feel as though you can handle things on your own. I don't know where I would be without mentors in my life. And I've had some really good mentors. In fact, I'm privileged to have one of them on the line today, and we go way back, and he's a star. Your confidence crumbles when you're faced with a setback. Okay, so something happens and you go into the fetal position, right? You often avoid challenges because it's uncomfortable to try something you're not great at. When I was talking about doing webinars, I was like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? Okay. Hey, I'm here. You are merciless and brutal as you judge you. Think about that. Because as a natural genius, you think you're supposed to be good at everything. So where are you? Let's get in the chat. Married to it, flirting with it, or it's not your type. How's this one looking? Oh yeah, I see y'all in the chat. I see those numbers going up.
Yeah, I see a lot of flirting with it. Someone said they flirted with it, but they think they've moved away from it.
Yeah.
Got a little older.
And you know what's good about this one here is it does mean that we are achievers and we do have a good amount of success behind us, right? It's just when it goes overboard and we think that we always have to do everything right. What else, Shahara? I cut you off there. I'm sorry. Anything else?
Yeah, just a lot of people saying they're flirting with it.
This one is the flirt one.
Yeah, they're flirting with it and they're trying to move away from it. They're getting further away.
Nice.
That's good.
Okay, now this one here, I know this person. This person right here, the soloist, all right, she is my GS 7s and 9s here in the DC metro area. I can go into any agency and there she is. She is competent. She has the degrees. She's sitting as an administrator, okay, in a lot of cases. And she hasn't moved beyond because she's the soloist. Here we go. It's okay to be independent, but when you push away help because you want to prove your own worth, you could fall into this category. You don't need any mentor. You're just going to do it yourself, okay? You're doing it your way. And then you're sitting there and you're frustrated because you don't know why you haven't moved on. Now, this might not be you, but I believe that those of you that are on this line, you know some people just like this, okay? So let's see what this soloist is. You feel a strong need to accomplish things on your own. You often think or say, I don't need anyone's help. You frame requests in terms of the requirements of the project rather than your needs. So in other words, we need this done by Friday, but you really have taken yourself out of the equation. And you don't say, well, I need it by Friday because I need to get it to my boss by Monday or whatever. It's all about the job. It's the people that check who they are, their identity at the door, right? And somehow you are the task and not a person. So you don't get into relationship. You push others away and isolate others, and you're difficult for them to relate to. And when you're difficult for people to relate to you, a lot of times they don't like you. And if they don't like you, they don't help you. All right. And we were meant to be in community. We were meant to be with other people. So just kind of think about that. All right. So let's look at this one. What are we doing? Flirting with this one, married to it, or not your type? And maybe you were this and you realized that this didn't get you anywhere.
I'm seeing some not my types come in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Not my type. This one's not my type either.
Yeah.
All right. Although I got to say, when I first started, it might have been, I was close. I probably flirted with this at some point in my life. Okay. But not anymore. I need community, y'all. I need people around me. All right. Let's talk about the expert. All right. And as I explain this, just look at all them books back there. All right. These people believe that their competence is dependent on how much they know or what they can do. And they fear being exposed as inexperienced or not having the knowledge. All right. That's the expert. So let's look at the expert. You shy away from applying to jobs unless you meet every single educational requirements. You are always in training, trying to get more certifications. You believe in intellect over implement. I need to say, me going out here and transitioning from organizational training, which I know, getting into coaching and doing more coaching one-on-one, working with people, which I love, but then that takes a whole nother perspective for business, etc. It's different, right? But again, I don't need more certifications to do this. I don't need more degrees to do this. What I need is to implement. What do you need to be doing right now that you should be implementing instead of intellecting? All right, that was free. Let me keep going. You've been in your role for some time, but you can still relate to feeling as though you don't know enough. You immediately become uncomfortable when someone calls you an expert. In fact, you say, I don't know it. I'm not in charge. You just got all of this. In fact, you got this bravado about it. This ain't me. I don't know I'm not the expert. I'm not the leader. I'm not in charge. Blah, 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 blah. So, I love this one. You undermine your expertise because you didn't know something. So maybe you're in a meeting with folks, and because you didn't know, you undermine, well, why didn't I know? I should have known that type of thing. So where are you with this one? Married to, it's our last one, flirting or not your type. What are we seeing?
I see someone saying that they're married to it, that they flirted with it slightly.
Okay.
And yeah, a lot of not my types coming in as well.
Okay. Because that means you know your worth, and you know that the whole expertise, that you are good at something. But when people say, especially in the federal government, that's the SME, you're like, oh no, I'm not a SME. I'm not the subject matter expert, and so that happens. All right, let's do a poll and let's see overall how everybody falls out. So Shahara's going to put the poll up, and let's see where you are.
All right, everyone. You should see a poll coming to your screen right now, asking you which imposter needs your attention first. There you go. And we'll just give them a moment to answer that.
Perfectionist, Superman, Superwoman, natural genius, the soloist, the expert.
As they're coming in, I see the perfectionist and Superwoman, Superman coming in pretty strong here.
Exactly. Yeah.
A few more.
We'll take about another, 10 seconds. Let's give them 10 seconds more. Okay, I think all the votes might be in.
All right, now I'm going to end the poll. You can see your results.
Woohoo! We have those, look at that, perfectionist and Superman, Superwoman are tied.
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you for participating in the poll. All right, let's move on. And now we're going to look at what causes imposter syndrome. So we've looked at what it is. We looked at the 5 subcategories that we could fall in and how it's manifested. Now let's look at what causes this. All of the ones that we just talked about are what we call internal factors, okay? But there are also external factors that can cause us to have an imposter syndrome. These are the factors outside of a person, such as their environment, discrimination, stereotypes about competence. Whether they're real or imagined, they foster feelings of being an imposter. If you are in a non-traditional role, or you find yourself in a place where you're working with people that don't look like you, sound like you, or think like you feel less confident. Having a sense of belonging fosters confidence. And if you're in an environment that's other than where you feel most comfortable, you can have these imposter feelings. And that probably makes sense as you hear that. Bottom line, we're going to turn the corner because there is hope. There is hope. So there is no single answer for why people experience imposter syndrome. Some experts pin it on our personality traits. Some say it's from childhood memories, or it could be those internal factors that we just talked about, those 5 subcategories, or it can be because we are in a place where we don't fit. We feel like we don't fit for whatever reason. With that said, there is still hope, and we're going to be looking at 8 ways to fight back, okay, and overcome these imposter feelings and syndromes. So are we ready? Here we go. The first one is to celebrate your achievements. Don't minimize your success. So let's fill the chat with ideas of how we can celebrate. What are some of the ways that you celebrate your success or milestones? Let's put them in the chat. I know for me, it's cheesecake. What about for you, Shahara?
Me, it's pampering myself, going to the salon, getting my nails done.
I heard that. What are you seeing in the chat?
I see people saying taking themselves out for lunch or dinner,
Yes.
verbal affirmations, taking a day off.
All right. Good.
Nice.
Getting out into nature, just again, getting some good downtime, being with people that you love, your friends, your family, your husband, your wife, all of those type of things, and celebrating what you have done. Don't downplay your achievements. You've earned them. The next one is number 2 is practice self-mantras. I am enough. I was born for this. I was wonderfully made. I'm worthy. I lead from the front, okay? And I have this. Tell yourself something positive and uplifting whenever you feel the negative thoughts, shame, or doubt creeping in. This is another method of rewiring. It's so important to rewire our brains and shift the negative to the positive. Last month, we talked about breaking up with self-sabotage. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that YouTube, it's out, that video, it's out there on YouTube, and you can take a listen to that. I introduced an activity, which is, I call it the rubber band exercise. I have my rubber band right here. Okay. Boop. And what you do is, first of all, you do a T diagram, and you put on one side, a T diagram is like this. And on the left-hand side of your paper, you want to put all of those sort of negative thoughts, shame, doubts. And I would say negative thoughts and doubts, and you know whether or not there's some shame around that. As well as on the right side, what you want to do is to begin to write down those things that are combat that particular belief. So you're never going to amount to anything. On the right side, you would put, oh, look at where I am. I had me a good federal government job. You know, I was a sergeant. I was this, I was that, whatever, or I am, you know. And so it wasn't that I wasn't going to amount to anything. This is what I've done. Okay. Sometimes our mind says, remember, you can't do that. That's too hard. Oh, no, this is easy. This is easy. In fact, I'm going to get me one of those staple buttons that says, that was easy. Okay. All right. So make sure that you do those mindful things. Let's look at that self-love mantras. I call them, let me go back to that one. So I want to spend half a more second. Zig Ziglar talks about the fact that when you talk to yourself, you love intelligent conversation. So this is about rewiring and talking to yourself. I didn't explain the rubber band. So when you hear yourself saying something that's doubtful or shameful, what you have to do is do this, and replace it with something better. I am enough. I am good. I am wonderfully made. All right. So that's your activity. Wear a rubber band for about 3 days, and just hear yourself. Because a lot of times the imposter's on automatic pilot. Okay. Sabotage is on automatic pilot. We want to catch ourselves and start rewiring our brains. All right. The next one is be mindful of the way you treat yourself. Be mindful of the way you treat yourself. That is important. It's number 3. It's okay to be humble. But if you're always rejecting praise or compliments, you're not doing any favors for your mental health. All right. And it's not, a lot of times, again, we think it's, no, that's not humility. That's not humility. You don't want to be like bragging, but at the same time, a nice thank you shows a good mental health, right? Thank you. Don't start, oh yeah, but get the butt out and just say thank you. All right. Never forget how you make yourself feel. Never forget. Maya Angelou says that people, there's a quote there by her. She says, people will remember, they will forget what you said. They may forget what you did, but they never forget the way you make them feel. They never forget. And I think Shahara's putting this in the chat. But the whole idea is never forget how you make yourself feel. I thought about that quote, and it's like sometimes we can be our worst enemies. So treat yourself good, all right? Be mindful of the way you're treating yourself. All right, here we are, number 4, and we're rolling along. Mistakes are, I like this one, Thomas Edison, right? He learned 10,000 ways to not do or to make a light bulb, right? I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Think about that. Learn to take mistakes in stride. Don't dwell on them. I like what Coach Sean says. A lot of times, blessings are disguised in our mistakes. Think about like a mistake that you've made and how it has turned out for your good. Okay. If you've made a mistake that actually made your life better in the long run, I want you to put a big yep in the chat. Put some yeps in the chat. Just affirm that you've made mistakes, you've fallen, but you got back up. I should have all 27 of y'all saying yep, 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 yep.
Yep, a bunch of yeps flooding the chat here.
Say that was Shahara?
I said a bunch of yeps flooding the chat.
There we go. Good work, y'all. Thanks. All right, so we've done 4 of them. Celebrate your achievements, practice self-love, be mindful of the way you treat yourself, and learn to take mistakes in stride. The next one is act before you're ready. There will never be a perfect time to do something. So you have to, right now, sometimes we have ourselves in Band-Aids and we're waiting for a good time. No, rip off that Band-Aid and start acting. Press the send on that application. Submit the application. Write up the application, okay? Publish the book. You've written the book, publish it. I'm talking to myself right now, y'all. You know, get it out the door. Get things out of the door. Do whatever it is that you're afraid of, because no one is ever 100% ready. And here's the whole thing too. I think we hesitate a lot of the times, and the imposter plays with us a lot of the time because we feel like nobody's going to like it. Guess what? You are called to certain people. You're not called to the whole world. Okay, even though we want to change humanity, your humanity is designed for you. Okay, your voice won't travel to certain people, but it will travel to other people. So get moving. All right. So see my first video on YouTube, right? And I actually put it up there in an imperfect way, because I didn't want to be airbrushed. I could have practiced it and everything. It was really my first attempt at doing a video. So just go check it out. It's kind of fun. For me, it was fun because what it said to me is I had launched out. And a lot of times we won't launch because we spend our times doing 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, 3 to get ready, 3 to get ready. And we never do the 4 to go. So it's time to go, okay? Now, here's where Coach Sean comes in. Coach Sean said, do it scared, do it unprepared, and then do it again. Now, you say, what? Do it scared and do it unprepared. The key is you are prepared. Remember, I talked about the difference between intellect and implement. You keep trying to get more so that it'll be right, and then you never launch. You want to, if you feel like you're unprepared, do it anyway. All right. And then do it again. And I know that the level of this webinar is going to be so much better in how I give webinars 3 months from now. Okay. But I've launched. Join me. All right. Don't count on external validation. This is number 6. No one, not even your boss, should have more power than you do to make you feel good or bad about yourself. All right. You can't control how other people and what they think about you, but you can control how you feel and how you think about yourself. So don't give people that kind of power over you. Don't count on external validation. Also, now I'm going to have a challenge in this one. Review what you've recently accomplished. And it doesn't have to be recent. Start making a list of the things you've accomplished in your life. Okay. And the challenge is going to be that you are going to get, let me hold off for a minute on, I'm going to tell you how many you're going to get. But a lot of times what happens with this, and the reason why we want to do this particular activity and put some flesh, if you will, on the bones here, is because of the fact that we need evidence that we have achieved, that we have accomplished things. Because a lot of times our mind will go to the bad stuff overwhelmingly. All right. However, we want evidence that we can hold up and we can say, this is what I've done. So make a list of all the things that you've done if you have the opportunity, and ask coworkers or loved ones who know you, who they are up to date with your life. They can tell you some of the things that you've done. You can even go back into other people that you know, and just say, hey, what did you see me do? That type of thing, and get you a nice list. I want you to have on your list at least 25 things. Yes, I said 25 things. I went through it. I did this last night and I had 43 things. All right. And trust me, I am nobody special. You have 43 things too, but I'm only holding you to 25. I want you to email me or text me and tell me when you get your 25. All right. I'll blow up my phone. Please, please. I don't want to know what they are, but please blow up my phone. All right. In fact, let's take a pause here. We haven't been in the chat for a second. Very quickly, what is one thing that you've done that you know was an accomplishment? Go ahead, put it in the chat. What are we seeing, Shahara?
I see someone mention that they retired.
Yeah.
We got some commonalities here. A few people have retired. Definitely a big feat. That's a huge accomplishment. Became a leader over a ministry.
Yeah.
Saved my daughter from destruction.
Wow.
A lot of good stuff in the chat.
Yeah. I know I led a team to South Africa. That's been a big one for me.
Wow.
Yeah. Others.
Let's see. Someone said they'd lost a lot of weight, 21 pounds. Awesome. Learned how to walk again after surgery.
Wow.
A video poster, retired and happy.
Look at that. Celebrate. Celebrate. I love it. Okay, you got to get 25 things. Like I said, blow up my phone, text me, whatever you need to do. Send me an email. Just say, hey, I got it. I got it. All right. The last one says this: talk about your feelings. If you can't wrap your head around the idea of mantras or talking to yourself or using a rubber band, and you feel as though there's nothing you can name, although I know this group, I know y'all have some stuff, okay? Ask for help, okay? Ask friends. If you need a counselor, you need a psychologist or a mental health provider, don't feel ashamed. There's no shame in your game to ask for support. So the bottom line to everything that we're talking about is that there is hope. Now, let's put like a little mini action plan. You already have your challenge to get 25 things. Shahara is going to give us our final poll for the webinar, and I want to know which one of these are you going to start with. Go ahead, Shahara, put that up for us, please.
All right, so the poll should be on your screen now for you to take.
And it says my new beginning starts here. So which one of these do you want to start with? Now let Shahara interpret this.
Yep, we have about 4 more people, but it's looking like right now that there's a tie between celebrate your accomplishments and act before you're ready, which I definitely identify with.
Yes.
And be mindful of the way you treat yourself.
Okay. So did we stop so that they could see it?
Let's see.
Yeah, we got to cut the poll
all of
off.
our answers in, and you guys should be able to see the results now.
There you go. Celebrate achievements and act before you're ready. Yes. Let's stop doing that. 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, 3 to get ready. How about we do the 4 to go? Okay. Great work, y'all. Great work. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yes. All right, Shahara, we're going to take the poll down. And I think I do that on this side. Let me give you some final thoughts. Sources. All right. Shahara is putting in the chat a link for some sources. Additionally, I would like for 4 of you to hang out with me at 2:00 today. I just need 4 people. I want to do a post-webinar discussion. It will only be for 15 minutes. That's why I'm getting a number of just 4 people. I'll be asking some questions, and we'll talk about the impact of the webinar on us, and I'm going to put that on YouTube. So if you want to be one of those 4 people, put your name and put your email in there, and you'll get a message from me in the next 15 minutes after I stop that invites you to that post Zoom meeting, and we'll just answer a couple of questions about the webinar. So if you can participate in that, you want to participate in that, go ahead on and put that information, and Shahara will get that to me. So thank you for volunteering. All right, so what's coming up? We're going to launch further out into the deep next month, September 28th from 12:00 to 1:00. We're going to do letting go of fear. Letting go of fear. Now, when you think about it, we have talked about breaking up with self-sabotage, overcoming the imposter syndrome, and letting go of fear. And I'm going to be doing group coaching and getting unstuck. So it's going to be 7 weeks, 7 people for 90 minutes, 7 weeks, 7 people for 90 minutes in a group. There'll be 2 groups. 7:00 to 8:30 a.m. On Saturday morning, starting on the 22nd of October. If you're looking at me like, what? Saturday morning? Oh, yeah. Okay. But there's some of you that are like, yes, that's a good time for me. Okay. And then there'll be another group. We're going to be doing the same topic. That's going to be Monday nights. Now, the group that you're in is the group that you stay with. Okay. And that's going to start on the 24th from 6:30 to 8:00 on a Monday night. So I trust some of you are going to sign up for this. It's going to be $699. Yes, I am in business. And I know the value of group coaching, and I'll explain more of that as you sign up for that. So what do you do next? Go out to the website, www.leejohnsongroup.com. There's a free life calling assessment out there for you. If you download it, take it, and you want to talk about it, if you put your name behind your last name, put 727. You see it on the slide. You're going to get a copy of this as well. I will give you 20 minutes of free coaching. Individual coaching around that particular assessment. One-to-one coaching. If I'm your coach, I want you to sign up. Group coaching, if you go out to the website for Getting Unstuck, there is a $50 discount on the website. And finally, don't forget September 28th at 12 noon for letting go of fear. With that, it's been a pleasure working with you. I thank you. How are you feeling right now? Put something in the chat. Did we have a final poll? Let's not go to the poll. If you're feeling good, just give us a thumbs up. Okay, give us a thumbs up. And if you need to talk to me, certainly reach out to me. I see all those thumbs up. Outstanding. All right. I am so proud of you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for investing into yourself. I am very proud of the work that you've done and being interactive with us in the chat. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll be seeing you in texts and emails and talking to you as we move forward. Take care. We'll see you later. Bye now.